A living animal was launched into open space, no suit, no oxygen, no pressure, and survived for 10 full days. That animal, about 0.5 millimeter long, smaller than a grain of sand. This is a tardigrade, also called a water bear. It's about 0.5 millimeter long, lives in moss and puddles, and it looks like a tiny 8-legged gummy bear with a vacuum cleaner mouth. In 2007, the European Space Agency strapped thousands of them to the outside of a satellite, unprotected, and sent them into low Earth orbit. When they came back, a remarkable 68% of those shielded from solar UV radiation were still alive, and some even reproduced. Now, here's the question that should be keeping you up at night. Space is a triple threat: near zero pressure, lethal radiation, and temperatures swinging from -270 to +150 degrees Celsius. Any one of those kills most life instantly. So what is this thing actually doing? The tardigrade's first trick is called cryptobiosis. It shuts itself down almost completely. It removes almost all the water from its own body, retracts its legs, and folds into a tiny barrel shape called a ton. Metabolism drops to 0.01% of normal. But here's where it gets wild. Without water, proteins in cell membranes should crumble and collapse, like a tent with all its poles removed. Something has to hold the structure together. The tardigrade's solution is genius. It floods its cells with a special sugar called trehalose, plus unique proteins found in almost no other animal, called TDPs, or tardigrade-specific disordered proteins. These two work together to do something almost unbelievable. They stabilize the inside of the cell by forming a vitrified, glassy matrix that holds proteins and membranes in place, like insects preserved in amber. This minimizes molecular movement and prevents structural damage caused by desiccation. And for radiation? Tardigrades carry a protein called DSUP, damage suppressor, that physically wraps around their DNA like a shield, blocking UV rays and cosmic particles from snapping the double helix. Scientists have actually inserted the DSUP gene into human cells and watched radiation damage drop by around 40%. So, in the ton state, you have a creature that has replaced its water with glass, armored its DNA, and dropped its metabolism to nearly nothing. It's not quite alive, and it's not quite dead. It exists in a kind of biological limbo that we still don't fully understand. Time itself is virtually paused for them. A tardigrade has been revived after being frozen for over 30 years. Think about that. 30 years of suspended animation, then waking up like nothing happened. Here's the sentence I promised you. The tardigrade doesn't survive extreme conditions. It escapes the requirement to survive them entirely. It simply stops being something that can die until conditions improve. That's not toughness. That's a completely different relationship with life and death than anything else we know.